Well, hello, Hexicans. It's a new kind of show, new kind of intro. We haven't done an intro yet. We haven't done a thumbnail yet, but we're gonna pull off a show tonight. How's it going, Famous? What's up, my brother?
I'm doing awesome. Yourself, man?
Look at you. Where are you at?
I'm Mr. Robot. Everyone calling me Robot, so I give you a reason to call me Robot. But yeah, I'm in the famous office. The honor.
That's
I wait one day. But yeah, man. Honestly, today's a wonderful day. I'm loving it. It's the episode number 1, RG.
Episode number 1 of our new show, Defi Syndicate. So this is going to be everything DeFi, everything Hex crypto DeFi. We're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about the crypto environment. We're going to talk about DeFi. We're going to get into his opinion, my opinion, and then somewhere in the middle, our opinion on what's going on out there. So current events, that kind of stuff, and then bringing it to the Hexican community through Discourse Syndicate and our new show here, Defi Syndicate. All right, my man. So I know we've been busy this week. What have you been up to? What has been going on out there in the crypto world, other than the FTX debacle?
Nothing, man. Spaces are good. Spaces are getting packed. We're always getting, new members. We're steady chasing where people are trying to understand. I think the number one thing is the 3-letter word thing topic, right? You know what I mean? It's the CC topic that's mainly there because everyone's just staking, they're DCAing right now. I think everyone's quiet because they want to keep buying. I think the pump today to 2.9 is because of the ETH price and so on and so forth. We can go into that, what I think and stuff like that after. But yeah, like you said, Defi Syndicate. So guys, what we're gonna basically do is, if you guys have questions, we're gonna have topics. We're gonna cover up all DeFi related topics, DeFi related needs. We're not gonna tell you what to do. We're just gonna provide you all the information and so on and so forth, just to remind you guys. But yeah, man, I'm very excited. The number one thing which I want to talk about is actually the t-shirt rate just keeps going up. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, and the payouts too. The payouts have been going up nicely.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. What do you see causing all that? End stakes?
Oh man, the number one thing I keep talking about and I keep drilling in people's heads is that hex wrapped ETH ratio. It keeps going down. So that means basically people are trading their hex for ETH. To the point where it's it's not that bad, but it's still going down. We need to bring it up. Now, if ETH goes up in price and we maintain this, we could have a very good price, right? So if ETH goes back to, let's say for an example, in my opinion, it goes back to $2,000. Let's just say, right? Let's just say it goes back to $2,000. We could see, right now off the bat a 5-cent, 6-cent hex, right? But then if we look at the way that we're not going as low. So what I was realizing by explaining to someone yesterday in the chat was, if you would have bought hex on November 3rd, as an example, you would have gotten it for a certain price. Now that price compared to what it was yesterday, you were able to get it at, in USD value, you were losing 30%. But in the hex ratio, you were losing only 10. So it wasn't, so when the person did the trade, they didn't feel like they lost that much, because if they would have went back in time, they only would have got 10% more in hex instead of losing 30% of value. So the ratios really come into play. But I think right now what we need that hex ratio to go up, because if, and this is an if, right? Because I've been talking about this for a long ass time. Bitcoin's going to hit that mark at around 14, 15. It's going to mark it in the middle of December. I believe so. I believe with everything that's happening, hash rate's going down. Hash rate's going down. So remember I was talking to you, we're going to pull that up after. I'll show you this graph of the hash rate. The hash rate keeps going up. If you look at the linear graph, it's going upwards. So that means that people keep using the miners and they keep actually mining. You were mentioning that like the graphics cards were coming in. I forgot about that. That could
Yeah.
be another play because it's Christmas, everyone buys new computers, there's deals, Black Friday, so on and so forth. So people getting more and more miners might cause other people to close certain revenues and have to re-put in
Well,
new devices.
we know that some of the miners are going to have trouble right now. I mean, if you've got a big mining operation and Bitcoin is down where it's at now, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. There's a lot of them that were over leveraged, and we saw this in 2018 when everything took the last big dip, and the mining operations just shut down. I remember, not, I'm trying to think of his name. Veer was moving all of his stuff. He had a bunch of stuff out there in Asia, and he was moving it back, and he was getting it back to the States, just getting the equipment out of there because they were shutting everything down because it's just not profitable at that point, for as much that they were all leveraged. So there's a lot of that happening too, and that's bringing the price down and messing with the hash rate. And it happens every time, every day.
It does, and it does, but it's actually been lower than it's done this. It's done a dip that's enough. I think it did like a 13% dip from the all-time high, which it usually when that happens, you get people they reset in a way. Also, the hex price, not the hex price, sorry, the ETH price hit a bottom, in my opinion, and now it's coming back up. But it's the ETH BTC price that, in my opinion, when you look at its flag motion, it has to go up or down now. In my opinion, there's something that's going to happen from now until May, right? So this is on a big spectrum. Like it happened before. It always does percentage-wise. So I think from now until May, something's going to happen. It could be the V3 of Uniswap, or I don't know what it could be because of this whole Uniswap FUD. Like we keep seeing it. Aave stopped. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Aave stopping. It's freezing its assets, certain assets, so you couldn't borrow from certain assets. But that was a vote in, so like that they could reduce risk, which in my opinion is pretty interesting because they're taking care of a problem which they could foreshadow and what might happen. USDT FUD is happening, plus this Bitcoin nonsense. Plus the Bitcoin nonsense. If you're talking about Bitcoin dumping, then you know that USDT is going to be involved. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, man. RG.
Sweet Brissology says, I don't get why miners can't mine at a loss today because just sell the coins higher later. All miners are operating on no margins. Well, those that can will just like last run. So the last bear market, there were the ones that survived and they're the ones that didn't. And those that set up for the winter, they're the ones that are going to survive. But imagine all of them that are over leveraged, that can't operate, or can't function. So, and then of course, wintertime, you start seeing energy costs in some places going up, depending upon where you're at. So, it's a rough place for miners right now. So, which all the more reason to get rid of mining, just dump it. Let me read this one here real quick. Hey, Captain, could you ask if there is any worry about, since we now have loans and leverage, if it's possible to nuke Pulse Chain or PulseX? Example, what happened to Sol or FTM back in the summer? I think you might be talking about there's some leverage platform now that's out. Is that what you're talking about? I don't know enough about it yet.
Fiat, if that's famous or Fiat, it's not me. I have nothing to do with that project, but I could explain that project since they're doing basically it's leveraging on one side, and the other one is more of like a decentralized.
It's more like a single-sided liquidity pool, right?
No, it's actually like Aave. So Fiat, if he's confused, then Fiat is like Aave. And famous.io I think they're a fork of GMX, or they're gonna be similar to GMX. You can go search that up, GMX, decentralized exchange. So you could look at that. They did an AMA with a lot of good people to go in there and ask questions. There was KDP and so on and so forth. That they really did a good AMA. If you have any questions, go on their Twitter and listen to that if you have any questions, or I don't know, go in there.
Yep.
I guess they have a Telegram or something.
I know KNTX did a show today about it too.
Mhm.
He had a guest on or something, and he was talking about it today.
That I think that's good for competition, right? Richard always says competition brings more capitalism.
He's always wanted people to be able to leverage against Hex, be able to short Hex and whatnot. So have at it, folks. It's one of those things that when Richard says the 3 L's, ladies, liquor, and leverage, he's not kidding. and these tools are available and I guess necessary to have a full ecosystem. But I steer clear of those things. It's not in my wheelhouse to even play with those or mess with them or tell people about them. It's to each his own. Everybody else, you can have at it if you'd like. And then they're a tool also. So, people use it as a tool, especially the lending platform. If you know what you're doing, if you're not over leveraging yourself, then, it's a tool. Hello, Sandy. Thanks for jumping in and supporting us as always. Hello to you. So I don't know if I've actually seen, I remember in 18, they were showing like mountains of miners like being shut down and they were just laying there all unplugged, but I haven't seen any of that stuff yet, but I'm sure it's coming. It's like, we're right there. And, something else that Brasology just said is we might see a Christmas pump because of all of this stuff too. So I don't know, anything could happen right now. Anything could happen. Like you said, there's this junction right now that we're at, and it could go either way. I keep hearing from, I had a conversation with Dollar Cost the other day, and a lot of people are thinking that we're going to see this like winter Christmas time pump here. Like we're going to see a fake out, kind of like the 14K one coin pump that we saw, and then smash back down. But we'll have to see how that plays out.
I'm just looking at it. I really think that the ETH BTC price is something people should look at. You should look at I think people should look at that Hex versus ETH. If this shit's gonna pump, it looks like it will, because even when you look at Hex versus Hedron, we're gaining back momentum on Hedron. So that shit's going at 14,000 Hedron per Hex. So we're gaining momentum on that. And if we pass that, then that just means that more people are leaning towards Hex. And I think people right now are going to lean towards Hex. It's under 3 cents. And it's going down. It's if you look at the momentum, we're still going down because we're following very strong, because ETH technically right now, if it drops under 10, we're losing I think it's like 20%. So 20% off of what we have now, we're still not under 2 cents. So we're good compared to the market, because when you look at Bitcoin and how it's dropping, that shit is bad. And we're dropping obviously at the same rate. Everything's dropping at the same rate. Everything is flagging in what pattern of momentum it has, in my opinion, right? This is like just momentum shifts.
Well, Hart's law, everything is
exactly. But ETH is at the bottom. It's like, it's where people are like, it's enough for me to buy it. But
where is ETH right now anyway?
ETH right now it stops at 1,000. It stopped at 1,000. I think 1,000 something.
Yeah, it needs to go lower. I'm sorry. I think
if it does, then Bitcoin's gonna have to take back momentum, because the thing that people don't realize, okay, is what they don't realize is right now the run that ETH has been making on Bitcoin since August of 2019. Since August of 2019, it's linearly been going up. Look, let me show you. I'm not sure.
It's at 1289. Briss just said.
Yeah, but look, I want to show this to them. Present. Well, I have to click present, right? Share screen. Window.
We'll get to that question in a minute.
So, see,
So that's
this is
August.
basically the formation. Like when you look at right here, that's like August right here, September. Look, August 2019, and ever since August 2019, it's still going up that linear path. And right now, it's just up right here, and then it's coincidentally, it's right before May, right? Okay, and then let's look at the ETH price. Same thing. It's on its near shift. It still doesn't. It never blocks under it what it's supposed to. It blocked, and now it might come back, and then it has to do something. Bitcoin, on the other hand, if you look at this green line that I'm calling, right? I called this right off of what Richard was saying. I'm like, okay, well, if it's dumping and we're going, then it has to go in this way because that's what they're drawing. So we called this 48K pump, me and Orca, we called it. Then we called the 3 lines here. So let me just zoom this a bit. So right here, we called this in the Twitter. We called it in June. We called this point right here. Then right here, we called it in late August and September. I was like, this is going to happen again. And then it dropped again. And now I called that at around mid-December, we're going to be right here. So something's going to happen. It's going to drop. So right now, what could make it drop is the fact that ETH is right here at this bottom where they're going to draw it and make it up. And I'm saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying this is what they might draw where it pushes up. And if that pushes up, then you look at this BTC and it has to go higher. It could go all the way up to 8.4% ratio. So ETH could be technically 8.5% of a Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes to, let me calculate this. If Bitcoin goes to let's say 14K just to be nice.
Thanks, Chris.
Times that by
Appreciate the 99.99.
You're talking only ETH at 1,176.
1,176.
Yeah, 1,176. So you guys could do this calculation yourself. I took Bitcoin at 14K. Okay, if the ratio is at 8.4%, you times that 14K by 0.04, 0.8.4, or sorry, 0.084, and that's 8.4%. And then you would get about 1,176, and that would be the price of ETH. So nothing really has to happen. Just the ratio of ETH between Bitcoin has to stay it's going to stay like that, right? So this whole ETH ratio is what we've been using this whole time. And you could see how the market's been moving by that, in my opinion. Let me take out this background and really slowing it down. The background slowing. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Yo, Christian. Is that Christian?
Yeah, Chris S.
What's up,
Texas.
Chris? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chris, for that. Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you. It's my pleasure being on, guys. You didn't have to.
So one of the things that I'm seeing at a macro level that's going to help kind of decide what's going to happen here, and it's a really bullish issue. So we're about to change over the guard in Congress here in the United States, and that's a big deal. And the reason that's a big deal is because things at the SEC are going to be changing. It looks like Mr. Gensler could be on the chopping block because of the new regime that's coming in. The guy who's coming in that's taking over Maxine Waters' position his name. It looks like it's Patrick McHenry. And if you look at what Patrick McHenry has been saying, now he's still a little sus to me, right? I mean, he's pro crypto, but he's more pro Bitcoin as the commodity, as the industry leader, and he's talked a lot of the things you see out there. He's speaking against Libra when that was all going on. That was kind of his big debut, talking about crypto. But you can tell he's versed in crypto. I don't think he's well versed in crypto, but versed more so than most politicians are that I've run into or talked to or been around. So I like that. And because the margins in Congress are so tight, it's going to be a freaking shit show. So it's not going to be like you've got one side or the other running the show. It's going to be a lot of fighting, a lot of back and forthing, a lot of trying to make the other side look bad. So there's going to be a lot of infighting in Congress, and I don't think much is going to get done. And I know they're trying to defang the SEC and the powers that be that are coming in are trying to do so. And the thing I do like about Mr. McHenry is that he is speaking well about the DeFi space and how an immutable code is what should be considered the commodity versus he's calling these other coins custodial, or he's calling them have centralized entities. And that's the one beautiful thing about Hex is we know it doesn't have a centralized entity. So it's looking good in the political atmosphere. I think that this next year is going to be a pretty big nothing burger. There's going to be this big FTX debacle, I'm sure. But some of the argument that I'm seeing out there in mainstream news is that, hey, this isn't bad cryptos. These were bad custodians of the crypto and what they did with them. So let's not go after crypto. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that is encouraging to hear, especially when you're seeing mainstream stuff, not like, going into the back articles within the crypto space and within, the financial space. But this is actually mainstream media. If you turn the news on and you watch a little bit of some of these freaking news channels, you're seeing that they're like, hey, these are bad actors. These were centralized entities that went and pulled the Bernie Madoff scheme on everybody. And we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They're talking about emerging technologies and embracing emerging technologies. So I'm pretty excited about how the language that I'm hearing. So it's sounding really good. Are you froze?
No, I'm good. I'm just thinking.
Oh.
I'm thinking about what to say. I'm thinking about what to say because I'm obviously not very well versed in this because I'm obviously not an American. So I'm just wondering, yeah,
and I want to preface a lot of my conversations too with, of course I'm a U.S. citizen and so I monitor what's going on here more specifically. But what I do know is that as the United States moves, so does most of the world. The world mimics a lot of the things that the U.S. does, especially when it comes to, these type of issues in the finance world. So, but there are some other countries that are making moves. For instance, Belgium just certified Bitcoin as being a commodity and not a security. So now there's some type of precedent out there to call at least Bitcoin anyway a commodity. And Hex fits more in with Bitcoin than anything else. So it's going to be interesting to see this next year, this next bull run. We may just completely dodge a regulatory bullet when it comes to this. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm excited about this next bull run.
I was wondering if what happened in the past with other cryptocurrencies, right? If they're for the whole legal aspect, if they're already existing jurisprudence, it would actually help our case even more since we don't even have half of what they have, right? So I'm just thinking there has to be a worth to that there's already existing cases have to do with existing things. So I'm pretty sure it's going to go well.
let's hope so. Let's hope so. It looks like the powers that be are shifting their thoughts. I still don't know about the Fed coins or the CBDCs or whatever, and how that's all going to play, or the regulation of the stable coins. That's the gray area. Those are the things that concern me based on how that works out. And of course, on ramping and off ramping of your crypto and your fiat. That's going to be, another regulatory issue that we have to see how they handle it.
I wanted to show something out because I was looking at a bunch of stuff about. Let's put it like this, at this thing. So, yeah. So right now we're at the 30th. So we're right here today. So today expired. If we look at this span of things, tomorrow there's a lot of fucking. I think it's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, no, November. There's 31 days. No, yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a lot of T-shirts being expired. A lot, and the next week too.
Yeah, there looks like there's a lot.
I wish I knew
how many are expiring tomorrow.
Compared to today there was only 67,000. Tomorrow is going to be 112,000 cumulative shares.
That was all the Hexicans staking for Christmas money.
No, actually, I think it was day 1080. I think that's what we are today. I think we're day 1080. Everyone who does like sports and shit, the 1080s. It's a number that people might have chosen. I'm not joking, man. Skaters.
No, I really think that
1080.
Because so one of the staking strategies that we were talking about. So if you wanted to get, the maximum hex and you wanted to get a good staking ladder going, one of the things that we would tell people for your staking strategy was, take your stakes and put it around events, birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, holidays. So we were telling people, stake that way, your first ladder, and then create an income ladder, which was monthly stakes, that would pay you an income every month. And then we had people doing 15-year stakes too. So it was like, you want the maximum hex for your stake, then you're going to go for the 15-year stakes. So it was kind of like part of the strategy was putting it around the holidays and stuff. That's part of it, but you could be right about the number too. I tend to think that people were, because of also the years involved, the launch of Hex, and it was like, this was year 2, year 3. So here we are, year 3. And that's when people were staking for 3 years and stuff. So Santa Monica.
There's also there's some big wallets that are included in that. The first 20 wallets that ever touched the Hex deployer address. You look them up. They have stakes. They all had stakes ending around this time, which was, I think it's the birthday of Hex. I think that's more precise what it is. The birthday of Hex. It's like you look at today we're not even at 1080. We're at 1092 or something. We're almost at 1100. So I was looking at that. Then I was looking at the X daily stats. Obviously, we're at like we have the biggest supply ever, which was a couple of days ago. Like, we're in the days of the supply. The supply is moving, but it's the highest.
When you said supply, highest supply of what now? The highest supply of what now? What were you saying?
Ever. Circulating supply.
Oh, circulating supply. So we're at the highest.
Ever. So basically,
we know why that is.
Where did that?
Because it's at 2 cents. People don't want to sell. So as the stakes are ending, people are just holding on to that shit. Nobody wants to sell it. So the circulating supply is getting bigger and bigger.
No, more precisely for me, it's actually the coin is inflating instead of deflating.
That's exactly what I said.
Wonderful. but it's exact. Oh yeah, you said basically they're staking. I'm sorry. In my head, I just heard. Oh, they're not
Yeah.
selling it. Yeah. But
So that's all brand new minted hex, new inflation.
Yeah. And they're putting it back.
And they're holding it as circulating supply. Yeah. Yep. And now after the next, I wonder when the next big staking craze is going to happen, because we're going to see. So we got this big circulating supply. We may see sideways action for a long time. So circulating supply might even get bigger.
See, look.
What are people going to do? So that's the circulating supply. I can't see that.
Currently, on it's up on yellow. You can't see it from here.
Yeah, I can see it. I can't read the details, but there you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it up for people. Oh fuck! This is too much. Hold up.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
What does it say? What's the number of the circulating supply?
Time range. No, I want a time range relative from now. I want 10 years from now. So I want to boom it up. Too much data.
Toblet Roos
okay,
says, why do people think that the bear market?
Yeah, people. I
don't think the bear market's going to end soon. To be honest, I don't. Either. I don't think it's going to be soon. I think the soonest by March or April of next year, at the soonest. If we even see a real, bull run, we may see some changes. We may see some movement. But I mean, that's just my thoughts. But I think that we're in for a little bit of a winter here. It seems like
I think Q2. I
think so too. Q2, yeah.
I think Q2 this year. It looks like it's going to be like that for crypto in general. I don't know about normal markets, but I think crypto Q2 something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Not all time high, but yeah.
Yeah, he said 6 months minimum, but that's optimistic. I think so too. We could be in for a long winter, depending upon what really transpires with this bullshit.
This has to mean something. Like, look at the amount of expiring amounts, and then look at this. Like, this has to mean something.
All those stakes, you mean?
Yeah, like this has to do. Like, is this so
year 3? So
right now, we're now in one of the biggest deflate. Like, this is gonna boom the T-shirt price. Like, people have to we're in that right now.
Yeah. Every time you get a lot of stakes coming out like this, the T-shirt price starts to move, and especially as time goes on, it starts to move faster because you've got this inflation coming out that is turning over a higher ROI. So these stakes are turning over higher ROI, which is increasing the rate of the T-shirt price. So
you know what this looks like? This looks like the ICOSA chart of the rewards of the ICOSA staking. This is hilarious. If you look at this, like right here, it looks exactly ICOSA staking is small, and then boom, one fucking day that comes in and it just outpaces everything, and then it's just gonna be every consistent amount of time, every time you're gonna see a spike in things. This is actually fucking cool, man. Well, sorry, I interrupted you. What did you say?
No, I was giving Dorsey a wag of the finger. He's gonna ask me something. I can tell.
So I think at this point we're gonna see much more, like, if that's the case, right? Because this is what? This was in 2020. Does that make sense? Is that the beginning?
What's that?
Of staking?
Yeah.
October 5th was the beginning of staking?
October 5th of 20? No.
Maybe. Yeah, actually, maybe.
No. Nope.
That
We
wouldn't
can
make
stake
sense.
way before that.
Makes sense. Anyways, so I would wonder if this is like the biggest it's ever been, and these are the biggest that's ever been. What time on this?
And
What
said,
was
be
the
careful
beginning
not
of
to
this one?
conflate T-share rate and T-share price. Yes. T-share rate is the rate of the rate the T-share is going up as far as ROI turning over and how much hex it's going to take you to purchase new T-shares. And T-share price is basically what the price of the T-share is, or price of hex is that day, what you'll be paying dollar wise. And right now they're really cheap because of how cheap hex is. So right now you're getting more bang for your dollar on T-shares right now. They're very inexpensive. Rate and price, cost versus yield. There you go. That makes
Honestly,
sense.
I love Hex Daily Stats, man. This thing right here, man.
See, so
It's like
I'm number dyslexic. Like I look at that stuff and I go like off into.
I look at this and I'm like, bro, every fucking piece of every fucking information you fucking possibly bugged right now.
See, that
Awesome.
doesn't float my boat, man. I want to see. I need to see tangibles. I need to take a look back. Now the numbers are cool, but what are they? How do they relate to the macro view? How do they add up to something that makes sense here or here or here versus all this little mini, emotional kind of crap that really doesn't make a whole bit of difference, except for some kind of rabbit hole you can go crawl down into. Bottom line is, we're in for a little bear market for a bit, but there's value here. And one of the things that people should be understanding right now, we should be excited and talking to people about this is, and this is hex advice. This is absolutely hex advice, is that your T-shares per dollar are really cheap right now. They are costing you very little compared to some of the places that they've been dollar wise. And the rate of return of hex that we're getting right now is extremely high. It's higher than it's ever been, and it's on the reg. We're making 6.3 on average hex per T-share right now every day. It's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're consistently getting over that 6.
Yeah, and if you go into your hex staker app, and you look at the historical payouts per T-share per day and go back, you'll see that it's been going up. We started in 3s and 4s and 5s, and now we're at 6.3. I mean, it's going up and up and up and up, and the pool is not getting diluted because as we see like you just told me the numbers, as we see the circulating supply going up, that means that the staking pool is starting to go down. What's our staking percentage right now? Like low 9%?
Let's check it out. You could definitely check that out.
I can probably see it right here on the.
Well, staking percentage is 62. It said what? 62. Fuck, what was it here? I had it here on top. It said 62 billion hex out of 580. So that's 582. So that's 62 divided by 582. It's about 10.6% stake.
10.6. It's still pretty high. Still pretty high.
Well, that's why we're averaging over that 36.9%, because we're about that. It's 9. Yeah, but I think Brissology, that 9.69 is when you look at the total hex, because when you look at the total hex supply, that's oh, you're right. I do have to consider that. My bad, Brissology. You're right. You're absolutely
So
right.
that's
Or,
that.
yeah,
I thought 10 was a little high. So
yeah,
9.69, it is shrinking. It's going down. So that means
yeah.
that's why we're getting more hex, because the pool is not as diluted, because the stakes that are ending, those T shares are coming out and being minted into new hex, turning into circulating supply. Therefore, the pool is consolidating. So the people that are still in the pool right now, yeah. They say on stream math is hard. Yep, math is hard for me off stream. I can't do math. Maths is not my freaking cup of tea, fellas. And ladies, not my cup of tea. I don't do
Well, because
maths.
these numbers make you understand. Because, like, obviously, sorry, that makes no sense for people who don't understand math. But what it means is that when you have these numbers and you understand how you got to them, you understand how this thing works and how everything works. So, someone like myself, when I look at these numbers, I'm like in my head understanding everything that's happening. So, you could always take the statistics and understand things, and probably not foreshadow, but expect and assume things that happen in the future,
So
which is
here's what
quite
I know. So I look at all of this stuff, all this math, all these numbers, all these charts, all these things, like a trip from LA to Denver. A trip from LA to Denver, and I'm in a Ferrari, or I'm in a bus, or I'm in a Volkswagen, and I know what fuel I'm putting in. So I can look at the macro of everything and go, okay, well, I'm going to get to Denver at this time in this type of style in this way. I don't need to know the engine ratios. I don't need to know how much fuel is exactly in the car at that moment. All I know is that I'm going to stop and get gas. I know that it's going to cost me money to do so. I don't need to have all of that, the dollars and cents and miles and ratios within my engine of what's going on, the displacement, the amount of torque, the horsepower, all that kind of stuff. I don't need all that. I just got to know how to get from LA to Denver and in what style and manner I'm going to do that in. And that's how I see all this number stuff, is I try and take a macro look at it so that I can see where I'm going. Let's see what Brissology said. He gave us a tip here. I used Hex daily stats and multiply the daily payout by my T shares, and I can see how much I made today. Yeah, you can do that on your Staker app too. You can do that there, right? You see how many T shares you have, times that by the daily payout. Boom, boom. Pretty easy, right?
That's crazy. I never knew this, man.
You got the mic right in front of your face. I thought you left.
Oh yeah, sorry. on day 353, 97.86% of the supply was staked. That's fucking crazy.
And here we go again.
Only on
the detail math. Staker app rounds up or down. That's all I need. That's all I need, bro.
No, I didn't know that.
No, I'm talking to Brissology.
Brissology. Yeah.
That's all I need to know, bro. Is a rounding number. It doesn't matter to me every day exactly how many hex were made on all those T shares. Just need a rounded number. You don't need to see the daily. I get the daily payouts every day from Whalebot. So as soon as that comes in, I can look and go, oh, wasn't that cool?
That would be fucking nice. A fucking program that were to break it all down for you so that you can export it and be like, hey, this is what you've made. You know, like this is what you got every day. Depend on if this is what you have right now, then this is what you would have made. I don't know. Does that exist? Like actually break it down for you?
No, you can just do that. Well, I think there are a couple of sites that actually will do that. You can put the numbers in. Trying to think of which one that is. But Brissology, it doesn't matter because you don't know the price of hex at the moment you're going to take it out. So that doesn't matter. You don't know exactly how many more T-shares you're going to get or how many more hex you're going to get into that stake. So it really doesn't matter what the exact number is that day. Jeez. You just need to know close because all you're doing is looking at it and going, ooh, how cool is that? Or that sucked today. You're not using it for anything. So why do you need to be exact? Only carry every 55 days. Oh, Dorsey has a 55-day staking ladder.
That's dope.
What do you pull up there? What do you got here?
It's just
What
for
are we
people
looking at?
to understand, like the decentralized liquidity obvious temporarily suspended its liquidity markets because of a vote, which is pretty
Ooh.
cool because they removed Pax dollar liquidity.
Right after its governance member passed a vote that aims to temporarily freeze assets considered to be volatile and have low liquidity. Okay.
Yeah, these include all these altcoins. But what's really cool about this is that they actually ceased liquidity and Gemini dollar.
Say what?
More precise,
So
but they didn't
LUSD.
freeze. They suspended the activity. Yeah,
So
LUSD
mm.
and the Gemini
Mm.
dollar.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and because according to the proposal, the aim is of the move is to reduce the risk of Aave V2 and promote the eventual migration to V3. Boom.
Boom.
That could be something that people never talk about because they don't know fuck all about DeFi, but excuse my language. But the government's proposal has failed a $60 million attack on CRV. Oh yeah, Curve. It's true because Curve got exploited. But yeah, that's basically, in my opinion, that's basically what's happening on the DeFi. There's not much happening in the world of DeFi right now. Currently, if Aave is getting stopped, I would look at the USDT pools, and I would actually be scared if you're holding
There's a lot of USDT FUD right now.
I would be scared. I would be scared with stable coins if you're American. So that's my opinion.
I'm feeling safer in Hex right now. I'm feeling safer in
100%.
Hex. Sitting in Hex.
At least you make something out of it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm feeling safer sitting in Hex. You never know what could happen right now, especially with all the weirdness. There's just a lot of weirdness. We're gonna just have to deal with it for a little bit. I did hear SBF get out there and say that as early as tomorrow, they could be liquid again. They could be paying out. That's what he announced. I saw him announce it. Sounds kind of far fetched. Sounds like maybe he's just throwing that out there to kind of throw some good news into the space. But I highly doubt that they're that they're liquid, that they can open back up and start making payouts. We'll see what happens on that. I don't think so either. I think that it was a fake out. So if that doesn't happen,
try to pump his
that
coin.
could be some bad news. Maybe that could be some bad news.
Try to pull a Elon.
Yeah. King said, who is going to the San Diego event starting tomorrow with KSB TV and team? I will be there on Friday. I won't be there tomorrow. I know that there's people out there already. I just talked to CZ earlier. There's people out there already. I won't be there until Friday, and I'll be there Friday, Saturday for the pool party, the yacht party, and whatever nightclub deal that is on Saturday night. Yeah, Brasology nailed it. Is that the same guy who said FTX was fine the day before he filed for bankruptcy? Or the guy that was working with CZ to get it bought? CZ said, sorry, dude. That was the ultimate in your face, man. That was like, oh man, that was interesting. CZ's punked him, man. Yeah, we'll buy you. Nah.
Man, the whole BitBoy event, that whole BitBoy thing, it made me laugh.
I know BitBoy's funny. He's out there trying to play freaking Geraldo Rivera.
He's trying to play Richard Hart in Bahamas, man.
He's trying to be the Geraldo Rivera of.
He's literally trying to be Richard Hart right now. That's
and I really like BitBoy. He's cool dude. And
I really think Richard was dying of laughter. That's why he didn't say anything, because he was just too much dying of laughter in the background.
We are here in front of SBF's apartment and blah, blah.
Oh man.
There's somebody coming out of the building right now. Wait a minute, it's security. They're about ready to freaking throw me up against the wall. Oh man, play by play, bit boy.
No, I know.
Oh man, but you know what? He's smart.
I'm the guy doing it for crypto. I'm doing this for crypto. Yeah, you gotta.
He did step out of line a little bit today on Twitter by saying that that they had the baddest ass community. The Bit Squad was the baddest ass community.
Yeah, bro, a bunch of fucking wrecked plebs.
I threw some signs out there for him saying no, well, no. You don't know what hexagons are all about. If you even think you can claim that, you got nothing on us. Nothing.
But what do you think? What do you expect him to say? But that.
Yeah. I
just like, dude, what if your guys are still following you after that many years? They know nothing about crypto because you showed them XRP and ADA for a year.
He's saying some FTX too.
Yeah, he had it. He even had his stupid like courses and stuff.
Yeah.
I hate to discuss.
Again, I don't want to say anything bad about he's my boy. I like him. And he's trying to turn over a new leaf. He's trying to go, okay. I think in the way he's trying to say that he's made some, we've all made mistakes, except for us. We've been 100%, and it's only because Hex has been 100%. So we may have been wrong about Hex a few times, but we've corrected ourselves and moved on. And Hex has supported us 100% of the time. So we were the ones that weren't wrong. And the other thing was Richard. We got behind Richard, and with all the FUD that we got because of that, we're still the ones that are standing up on top because Richard wasn't wrong.
No, he wasn't.
He was never wrong. He was never wrong. We crushed them. We absolutely crushed them.
I wonder if we could get Hex on Glassnode. Hex is not even on Glassnode, man. We should contact them and say, "Yo, put Hex on Glassnode, man." That's all I could. That's honestly all I could find right now in the markets, man. I'm looking at the price. The shit pumped. And I'll enjoy all the shorters that let's go check and see how much liquidations happen if that's the case. So
liquidations where now? On what?
Liquidations. Just how much liquidations got liquidated today on coinglass.com. There is only 41 million in the last 24 hours that have been liquidated. So actually the market has been pumping for a reason. X.
Okay, so there's some stability.
Yeah, no, people haven't gone. This is 4 hours actually.
If his announcement that we are solvent was something else that helped pump a little bit, so maybe they're trying to change the sentiment. But again, this could be that fake out that I was talking to Dollar Cost about the other day. He's like, man, I think there's going to be a December fake out. I think we're going to see a pump like we did with OneCoin, and maybe. Bitcoin goes back up to 22, 23K, and then boom.
Well, the guys, someone on this, I think it was Hexicasian on the chat and Trillion, I think they were discussing today, or Sean, I forget. These guys always bring up some good points. They said something about DCG.
Yes.
DCG owning CoinDesk, and they're selling it to pay back for assets or something like that. They're selling CoinDesk.
And then look at this. So our good friend Randy, friend of the show, friend in real life, Randy, mentioned that Silvergate Bank is the next to go down. And today he saw King saw an article about Silvergate.
Trillion has been on that. Shouts out to Trillion. He's been mentioning us that 2.5 weeks ago. He was like, guys, this is what's happening with FTX. Silvergate is is effing around. They're effing around badly, and he sent me so many. We have to get Trillion on. If you want to talk about that if Monday you want to talk about FTX, you should get Trillion X right now on the show to talk about it. This guy has all the YouTube's gonna get shut down because of all the alpha he's gonna put out there. It's gonna be cool. He's gonna come in probably with the tinfoil, Man, this guy has all the information. He has everything. He sent me. I'm like, yo, can you send me some information? He sent me all these things. I was like, whoa, I don't know if I want to put that all over the stream. But the Silvergate is 110%. It's like, where did the money go? When we look at it, it's like, where did the money go?
Yeah. And this is the thing that gives me confidence, hope, and keeps a smile on my face, is what Torin just said here. We need to shake out as many bad actors as possible, but they're doing this by design. They will probably only come back even more fierce for the next bull run. So I believe you're right, Torin. However, it's going to come back different. We're going to see a different version, just like we did the last few, bear markets, the last few shills, there's nothing new under the sun. It's still the same old shell games that they've been playing for fucking eons. It's the same games. It's the same ripoffs. It's the same stuff that has been played on human beings from the beginning of time. They just got a new toy to play with, this crypto space. Look at Bernie Madoff and what he did as soon as they deregulated things. His slimy ass came in and they ripped everybody off. It's just going to be different scam. It's going to be the same scam relabeled as something else. So we, as Hexicans, as true DeFiers, need to call it all out from the get. Now we know who these emperors with no clothes are, and we need to call them out from the beginning hard, because this last bull run, this last couple of years, we were defending ourselves because we were the ones being called out all the time. Not so much anymore. Now we are the authorities in crypto. We're the ones that understand what's going on out there. We're the ones that are going to expose the next scams because we know what they look like. Yeah. If it's not true DeFi, if it's not what our tenants have taught us to rely and understand in crypto, then it's bullshit. And we got to call it out from the beginning. Stay away from that crap. Stay away from that stuff. That is not true DeFi. When you're giving up your keys, when you're giving up your access, when you're giving it to a middleman, when there's a middleman handling stuff, when you're touching gray area with leverage, when you're touching gray area with trying to get freaking yield off of something, and you're giving up some of your security, you're giving up some of your access, man, that's where the problems are going to happen. Going to see it again. We're going to see it again.
I think so too.
Yeah, this is something that's very interesting, is that this guy is still walking around after he's stole millions and millions and millions, freaking billions of dollars, I should say. But white collar crime usually goes unpunished because
are you guys really that surprised? Your president's fucking son is a crackhead and got caught with all kinds of crackhead stuff and pedophilia.
Hey, what's wrong with crackheads, man? You need to go chill on the crackheads. Well, not everybody who's a crackhead turns out to be a bad person.
No, but I meant like, okay, well, maybe the Canadian, Italian, and where I'm from, Montreal version.
Your president ain't no freaking he's had his little shares.
He is a real crackhead. But anyways, you're right. I was calling him a crackhead, just saying he's a fucking complete wacko.
Come on now, that guy ain't no better.
Anyway, but
not that I'm defending any of our politicians or their family members or anything. But
no, don't say anything. Let me talk. I'm not American. They can't let me get Next thing you know, boom, down on the floor.
I could care, but there. When it comes to politics, the one thing, I'm not a side chooser. I'm an issue chooser, and I want to see who. And everybody says, "Oh, they're bad on both sides." No, there's not. There are good people in the government. There is good government, and we have to flesh that out, embrace that, and try and make the bad government better. That's what we got to do. And I know this space is full of fucking, all of our anti-government freaking conspiracy theorists, tinfoil hat wearing motherfuckers out there. But and those guys, I just, whatever. We got them. I love them. I love them just as much as I love, the more level-headed Hexicans, because I think we need to embrace all of our pirates. But you have to look at the good at it. You got to try and think positive. You got to look at things positively and not look at the problems. Like, fuck the problems. Let's go find the solutions. Let's work with the people that aren't acting like freaks and weirdos and doing stupid shit. Let's go find the real ones, get rid of those other ones, and try and make things happen with the people that are trying to do something good for, the world.
There's always bad apples on a tree, right?
Of course, man. It's human nature. It's human nature, and it doesn't matter what religion you are or what politics you are, or what sports team you like, or, who you want to spend your time with in your bedroom at night. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff. It's what are you going to do and go out there and change the world? How are you going to change the world for the better? How are you going to help your brothers? How are you going to help your neighbors? What are you doing to make the world a better place? Because, everything is sacred. Everything is connected. Everybody has a place in this world, and you make a difference. You make a difference. So anyway, that's my little philosophical rant here.
The only way one thing can change is Federal Reserve must go. As long as the Fed is still in charge, nothing will ever change, period.
No, I'm sorry. I have to disagree with you, brother. What we have to change is Citizens United. We need to put the power back into the hands of the people. The Federal Reserve can go away if we had the right people in place. You just can't get rid of the Federal Reserve. It's not going to happen. You have to get the vote back into the people's hands so that the people can make the rules versus the money making the rules. The money's making the rules. You'll never get rid of the Fed by saying, let's get rid of the Fed. You have to get rid of Citizens United and make it to where human beings can actually change the political landscape versus corporations and big moneyed interests. That's the only way you're going to make any change or even fix or get rid of or revamp or whatever you want to do to the Fed. CZ. Can't wait. We're going to, my wife really enjoyed her talk with you today, CZ. So, you guys are going to be fast friends, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks. We're going to have a good time doing this show. All right, man. Well, I don't want to get it going. We've already been doing this for an hour. We said we weren't going to do it for an hour. We said we we're going to do it for like 30 minutes. But hey, we appreciate all of you out there. Thanks for coming and hanging out. We're going to do it every Wednesday. We're going to get better at it. Promise. We're going to get better at this, and we're going to bring you more information. Feel free to DM us if you guys have a subject or a topic that you want us to research for the week. Hearing your comments, so let us know, and we'll get on it and put the brains and the old man to work here and get it done.
And they can also come 24 hours a day at their convenience at your time whenever you feel like it. Get yourself a Twitter account, go on @Hex all day, and you can come and join the spaces. And there's multiple people in spaces that will take time and effort to onboard you or to answer questions, show you links. You can go on cryptotolearn.com. If you ever need mobile needs, so let's say you're on one-on-one and you need to onboard one, you have someone who wants to get into crypto and you need to onboard them with your telephone, you can go ahead on cryptotolearn.com. You got all your links, all the documents, any document you need to explain ESing, you need to explain what's staking of Hex, how it works, liquidity providing, ratio trading, name it, guys. Every Wednesday we're here to do what you guys want. And every day when you want to, you could come and do what we do, which is to help you. So whatever you need, just let us know. You could DM us or you could come in the spaces. We're always there.
Yep.
So
we're always in the spaces. I'm hanging out in the spaces a lot these days. I just like turning around.
I appreciate it. I know you're addicted, man. You like it. You're like,
well, what I really like seeing is the new Hexicans. I can, there's a lot of bullshit that goes on in between it, but yeah, I'll see a new person come in and you guys will onboard them right there, or you guys will straighten somebody new out, or even when some of the contraries, and we had a good conversation with one of the guys from Cult the other day. It was a very civil conversation. Hey, Bifinesse, what's up, my brother? It's been a while since I've seen you, man. Freaking love that guy. He's out there doing the hard work. That man's actually out there every day, hitting the road, driving, delivering stuff for all of you guys. That's what that man does. But anyway, everybody, thank you for coming, and we will catch you next week on Wednesday, and then I will have another show chatting with the captain on Monday, and go check out our spaces. We'll see you guys on Twitter. Take care.